sisters, this tool can not only be used as a topside creeper in times of want and need, but it can also be a podium to give a sweet rebuke to your fellow technicians. Change your ways, brothers and sisters. Mend your broken path. You get the idea. This thing's a podium, man. I would be careful though, because when it's in the upright position, storage position, you're not supposed to climb on it or do anything. And I guarantee you, my little daughter's going to try to climb on it, so you want to make sure to do it in a careful way. And this is actually good enough to beat on. Hallelujah! Can I get an amen? Alright, so my top creeper came today. Got a couple of comments in the 5.3 intake repair video. Single Speed Man in Oklahoma Outdoors. They're asking about a top creeper, and I've been curious about these, but I wasn't sure if it'd be worth it space in the garage because it's kind of a limited area. Anyway, we're going to open it up, check it out, and do a little review. Apparently it's got a patent and it's made in China, and the company is in Arkansas, looks like. We'll be there next week. This one came from Phoenix, Arizona. The whole thing's just real heavy. Why is this? Can I give you a hand putting that in the garage? I'm like, oh, I got this. So I go to grab it. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get your help after all. That is a lot of big dang zip ties. I actually like to keep these. This is the padded part. Doesn't match all my blue creeper stuff, does it? Matches my red floor jack though. Either I'm retarded or this thing is tough to get into. As tired and sleep deprived as I am from that baby. Instructions. Change your work height. Yada yada. Topside creeper. Alright, so you got your materials list. And you got some instructions. So here's what it looks like so far. It took me, it was 9:35 when I started. It's now 10, so it took about 25 minutes to get this thing put together. Not bad. So it's got these little things that I haven't tightened anything yet, by the way. I figure I'd just get everything in place. This one doesn't seem to want to pair up real well with that one, and there's a little bit of a gap on one side. Had to really pull to get that to come together. But anyway, 25 minutes I got this part together. I had a customer come by. I had to talk to them for a little bit too. So maybe a little bit less than that, maybe more like 15-20 minutes. So I'm going to tighten it down and do a little show and tell. So here we are on a Nissan Armada. And you're wondering, is this going to scratch it up? But the knee pad that has a little foam on it, mine came with too many of them. It's only supposed to come with 3, 1, 2, and 3, so you don't scratch a car up at all. But it came with 4, so I just doubled it up and taped it real good there. But it's totally adjustable. I mean, you want it just above the engine like this. The whole idea is you're going to be working back here, so you could be like this and relax, and this, I can see this really saving your back. I mean, aside from leaving you vulnerable to all kinds of pranks from behind from your fellow shopmates, I'm just glad that I work by myself, you know, lately, because not that Spanky would come up and spank me, you know, on this thing, but holy crap. So there it is. That's how I would set it for this vehicle. To change it, it's just like a little giant ladder. You just pull out your pins, and then you can set it pretty much any way you want. There's settings in between the rungs, a little more fine-tuned fit. And like I say before, you can change the angle of this, and I didn't like it angling down, but in some instances I can see the benefit of that now, because you've got the hood coming up at you this way, and you're going in it this way. So that's actually pretty nice. Somebody really did some planning and really did their homework when they were putting this together. So this actually sits on the radiator support just a little bit in that position. You always got to check and make sure that these are grounded down here. Where these set in, it's really easy to have them not be in place. Like this whole thing down here just sucks. I'm just gonna come out and say that. That's how I feel. You can make it a little better, whatever, but it's like they don't line up quite right. They don't click in and they bend really easy. They don't just bend, they bend. Ba-bend! That means that it makes a big noise when you climb onto it and it's not in position. Ba-bend! Well, anyway, there's that. I don't know if I mentioned or not, it's got these locking casters that actually kind of lock okay. There's a 2001 CRV, burned up valves, at least one of them. Let's try a topside creeper on that. I set the brake. That is the number one thing I forget to do with this thing, is set the brake. Alright, so we get up in here. I don't like being on it a long time, but I tell you what, it's a lot better. It actually stretches the part of your back that you normally have compressed and tight and binding. So I'm actually going to jack this one up. CRVs are unique because the engine is so low in the engine compartment. I mean, it's about the same level as a car, it's only slightly higher. If you were to do a car, I would definitely jack the car up to bring it to meet this. So we're going to try that. So here we are, the vehicle up off the ground. You can see this is a little higher. I've got not the first one like I had before, but I'm on the second notch or pin. Check the bottom, and it is not ready to go. Now it is. Alright. It's got this pad so you don't scratch up the car, which is great, as well as these for if it's a low car. Get up on here, it's about the same. I don't know about this pouch. You know, the pouch always just seems to be right about right there. Maybe I'm running this thing too far forward, but usually when you want it is for something kind of on the far back side. But anyway, works pretty good. No matter what you have, it's gonna get you there. On a car, I'd still probably use a pad, just because I'm old school and I've had a habit of doing that. But on trucks and SUVs, this thing will save your back. So here's the creeper, topside creeper set up on my truck. You can see that it's metal to metal right there, but this is a really odd application in a custom built bumper. When you look here, you can see that it's making contact with the bar. But I'm always having to paint that dang thing anyway from road chips and all that kind of crap. I'm not worried about it. You look at the clearance, there's a setting where it's just right over the top. I mean, it's basically like throwing a pad up onto the truck. Like what I've been doing before getting this product is I just take a pad like this. It was a leftover shipping thing from a local business. I just set it on top of everything and lay on it and put my knees here. So now I set up, I put my knees on there the same as I always do. And I've got this pad suspended here. So, you know, it's a little safer because I'm not leaning onto things this way, but this does distribute the weight pretty well. If you're broke and if you can't afford it, I just get one of these, you know, and just do what I've been doing. But otherwise, you know, this is pretty nice. I like it. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space. I'll show you the setup and take down on it. So naturally you got the little caster locks. Just unlock that, wheel it back, get it into podium position. Pull out the little giant ladder pins. I'm sure they're going to be pissed that I say that, but it's the truth. So pull out the pins out from underneath. Kind of tight quarters, and the truck hogs a lot of space here. Just throw these in the little pouch in the front, and then push down, pull up. Kind of got to jiggle the thing on the back to get the wavy latch system. I'm always fighting that. It's way too thin. Material on that needs to be replaced with something thicker. I'll do that another time. It's been too busy lately. Just take it and put it away like that. That's what putting it away looks like. Here's what setting it up looks like. Same kind of thing. You're supposed to lock the casters down so it doesn't roll around on you. This comes forward a little bit. It feels like, oh no, I'm gonna fall. Well, you know, that's just what it does. A little unsettling the first time. Put your pins in. I like to put the hook end in the inside. Just flop it over. First few times you put these pins in, you're gonna be like, this sucks, I can't get the pin in. And by the time you've done it 4 or 5 times, you're still gonna say, this sucks, I can't get the pin in. I'm gonna have to drill that out a little too. So mods, make a reinforced version of this and drill these out a little. But other than that, you're pretty well set up. So I unlock it, pull this up to about the rough height, just a little bit above, put in the pins, let it go down and catch. Put it into position. Yeah, that's a little higher than I had it last time, but make sure these are in because they're not going to go in on their own. Really got to monkey with it. Alright, that's where we were. Set your locks. And it seems like a pain, but how long did this take me? I mean, rewind and check it, it's like 30 seconds. Once you spend 30 seconds getting it set up, if you're going to be in here for 20-30 minutes, you're going to be glad that you did set it up. So it's going to save your back and it's going to save you a trip. How long does it take to get to the chiropractor? How long do you wait in the waiting room, you know what I mean? So, I mean, is it going to save your back? Yeah. Is it awesome? Yeah. Is it worth buying? Depends on what's in your bank account. If you've got the green for it, if you got the cheddar to pay for this thing, $200, then I'd say go for it. I think you'll be ahead of the game in the long run if you do this much. I mean, if you're a backyard mechanic and you're doing this, you know, 2-3 times a week, or even, you know, say you're doing it once a week, that's still 52 times a year. I think it'd probably be worth doing. But if you're only going to do it now and then on your own stuff, maybe this is all you need. So I don't know what kind of foam this is. I know they had 7 pallets of it that they were getting rid of. I took 3 of them and insulated the garage with it. So, and I discovered that they're awesome to kneel on. They soak up water a little bit, which is not great on a day like today. You want to see what it looks like outside today? Looks like Christmas, huh? So, at least it's not -20 or something. That's nice. It's actually nice and warm in here. It's like 60 degrees. Therefore, bring in a snowy covered vehicle and it's going to be a wet mess. So that's another nice thing about this thing, is that you're not working in a wet mess. You're not laying on a fender that's wet or something like that. I dried this off because I always put my knees on it. Anyway, I don't know what else to tell you. That's the way it works. That's what you get. Let's do a close-up on the parts that you'll need to adjust or mess with. That's what I would want to see. That'd be like, this little latching mechanism sucks. Let's take a closer look at that. How hard is that going to be to make? So what it is these bolt on over the top of it. You can see the bolts on either side. When we zoom in on this guy, you can see it's just like saw teeth or wave teeth or whatever. And then the bar goes in. Now this bar is squirrely. I mean, half the time this is here, the other one's somewhere else. I got on it and I bent this tooth a little, so it's a little harder to get in now. Had I not done that, had I followed the instructions and put it in properly, it probably would have been okay. Let's pull this out. This side, the pin pulls out really easily. I mean, it's just slick as snot. It's got this interesting texture. I've got a tree stand with the same kind of stuff on. It's kind of like hammerite, but like a cheaper, more grippy form. So you take the pin, throw it in the pouch. Looks like my podium's starting to get a little wrinkly here. Maybe we'll pull that off and be done with that chapter. The Holy Order of the Wrench. Why not? Everybody's making their own churches these days, right? So, to pull this one out, you have to pull and twist, pull it till it hits my leg. Got my foot under there. See, that didn't come out really easy. These pinch on it and they kind of hold it in place. So watch when I step on it. See how that kneels down? Yeah, and that kind of just keep it from rolling around. You're supposed to set the caster brake on it. The casters on this, are they good? Are they bad? Neither. They're not awesome. You have to hook it with your toe. Not crazy about that. I like the ones where you step one side and then the other, but these tend to endure less abuse because they don't get stepped on as hard in the wrong direction. So then you take this guy, pull it up. That's why you want the wheels locked. So that's kind of what it wants to do, is it's just kind of floppy. See, this one is sitting on the tooth there, and this one's clear back where it ought to be. It's like it's not quite right. Yeah. I mean, this is an independent piece, other than it's tied in with this. See, that's an independent piece. And then these are somewhat independent. You know, it's all just kind of floppy frame. It seems like something ought to be shored up somewhere, but these have to be able to flex. So anyway, folds up like this. I'm just about out of memory. I'm gonna have to delete some more stuff. See, it just kind of bangs. This thing's fighting me all the time. See, that's trapped in there because the tooth's bent. So you go to put it up and you're just like, oh crap, something's got to give. You can see it's not quite straight. This one's farther forward than the other one. It's kind of floppy. If I get to the side here, you can see what I'm talking about. I mean, it's just not the heaviest duty thing in the world. If I were to do some welding on it and get this firmed up here and that firmed up here, get my plasma cutter out and make better teeth. I mean, it's just built a little bit on the cheap side, but that's why it's $200 and not $400 or $800. So save you a little money and do it yourself, I guess. When I weld this, it's gonna sure stink up the garage though. So it's got a pouch on the front. You may have noticed that. But your locking pins for when you unfold it and fold it. I just take the pins and throw them in the pouch, because actually it says in the instructions you're supposed to stick them back in here, but they don't help hold it up because the pivot point's clear back here, so this is just open and vacant. Then you have to pull them out again, and in my opinion they don't pull out very well. So this area could use some love. It could use some TLC in a big way, because these pins, they don't go in and out very well. This side does, but the other side doesn't. You can see these are pinched together to help keep it tight and prevent rattling, but it also makes it a little hard to get this to go through. The coating on it, it's a lot like a tree stand that I have, you know, like kind of hammerite coating stuff on it, but these are a pain in the butt to get to go in and out, so I wouldn't put them back in. They're probably easy once this is out of the way, but I just throw them in the pouch and just call that good. I don't know what else I'd be using that for, maybe screwdrivers and wrenches and stuff, but it's certainly not heavy duty enough to be able to hold anything in my opinion. So might even want to do a screw in through here just to give it a little more rigidity, but or just make a pouch that works better for you, or put a magnet dish on it or something. I don't know. For $200 it's a screaming deal. I mean, there's a lot of manufacturing, the casters, you know, for everything that you get here. I think that it's probably definitely worth, it is definitely worth buying, especially when you consider what it costs to go to the chiropractor. So all I gotta say is I'm pretty happy with it. I like it, but I'm definitely gonna make something for this because that sucks. But overall I give it a pretty good grade.
Oh, that woman got a mouth like an outboard motor all the time. Put, 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 put.